Hello my friends, wherever you are all over the world. William Poloniak here at Whole Health Foundation, and in this video I'm going to shred the remains of what's left over from a juiced right commercial machine that a friend of mine owns here locally. And as you can take a look at this, you can see that this pulp has not been shred very well, and there's probably a lot more nutrient left in what they usually throw away every day. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start putting this pulp, and I want to fill that tube up before I turn the machine on and cover it because I don't want a blowback. What I want to do is get some pulp built up in here before I start feeding more in here. So let's put the pusher over, turn the machine on. Now I'd like you to do a close-up of the pulp here. You can see it's much more better shred, and do a close-up here and you'll see the difference. And we're going to continue with this until all this pulp is shred. The X1, the pressed right, they all use the same technology, which is a food processor blade that, in my opinion, doesn't do as good a job as a juicer that we are developing now. Because this is such coarse material, scooping it by spoon is not really ideal. You can see that when it's properly shred with the Norwalk juicer, or the type of technology that's coming from my commercial machine, you would use a spoon to scoop it. But because this is such coarse material, and there's a tremendous amount of waste that comes from this kind of juicing machine, the pressed right, the juiced right, or the X1. But I'm going to scoop it by hand because it's easier to handle. So let's continue. I'm at the end of my juicing process, and before I finish this, I want to show you, do a close-up here, the difference in the produce before it is shred with the proper kind of shredding device. And here's the produce that's been already shred. You can see the difference. Let's take another close-up here. See a lot of pieces not even shred at all, and another close-up here. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. I'm always using ice cubes to cool down the cutter. You definitely do not want the produce to get too hot. Now I can guarantee you, on a pressed right, a juiced right machine, or an X1, you definitely have a heat issue. When you use ice cubes, and on the commercial machine that I'm developing, there's not going to be a heat issue because we're going to have a slow turning auger that's going to press the juice after it's shred properly, and then at lower temperatures we're going to get more juice and better quality juice. I'm finished shredding all the pulp we got from a juiced right commercial machine, and I want to remind you that I am developing a commercial machine that's going to do a better job of shredding the produce and at lower temperatures. So here we have the pulp that was thrown away. Basically, the produce remains were thrown away after they juiced it. And this is going to show you how much juice was left in the pulp that is normally thrown away. So I'm going to do my 6-cloth method here. And to demonstrate again, pull it over, pat it down, pull the cloth over as tight as you can get. The tighter the better. Pat it down, little crease at the back. Grab it with your fingers and tuck it under. Nice tight little package. And let's do a second cloth, because doing 2 cloths, pressing 2 cloths at once give you better pressure and you get more juice from your produce. And if you're a commercial juicery, you don't want to be throwing away 10 or 12 bottles of juice, which is what most do. Okay, let's put this in the press. All the way back it up a little bit, and let's prepare a couple of more cloths full of pulp. Remember, this is the pulp that was thrown away by a juice bar that was using a juiced right machine. Juiced right commercial machine. Pat it down, very important to make it flat. Pull it into as tight a package as you can, that's very important. The tighter the better. Now I'm going to use my less work 6-cloth method. And basically, instead of throwing this pulp away, I'm going to put new pulp on top of it, and it's going to hydrate the old pulp as well as squeeze the new pulp. Tight package, flatten it down. When you're finished with one cloth, flatten it down, set it aside, and dance it a little bit more. Okay, I'm done, almost done, pressing all of that produce that was left over from a juice bar. And I want to remind you, they already got a couple of gallons of juice out of that produce. And here I'm using the method of putting new pulp on top of old pulp. This is my less work 6-cloth method. So we're putting the new pulp on top of the old pulp. Pull it into a tight package. Flatten it, that's very important. Pull this forward, put that over, and the spent pulp goes here. This goes in the machine, all the way back it off. And we're not going to throw this away just yet. I'm going to set this aside and press it again later. Let's press these already pressed cloths, see if we can get another ounce or two of juice out of there. All the way back it off. When it starts pressing, we'll advance it. Let's put one more cloth in there. Now let's stick another cloth up there. Well, I could let that go another 30-40 seconds, but I'm not going to crank every last drop out of it. So, before I pour this into my containers, I want to remind you that the produce that we shred and pressed was already pressed and was the remains from a juiced right commercial machine that was going to be thrown away. And what I did, as you saw in the earlier part of the video, is I shredded again in a better shredder and just pressed it. And now we're going to fill up the rest of the bottles. And so far we've gotten 4.5. Now, as a commercial enterprise, this all is related to the bottom line, so more juice from your produce means more profit in your bank account. So as you saw, we had one full large stainless steel bowl of produce. And what we're going to get here is it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more bottles. But to be fair, one of these bottles, 2 of these bottles were ice cubes. So in actuality, we got 6 bottles of juice, but I did use ice cubes to cool down the cutter, and that was the equivalent of 2 bottles of juice. There you have it, my friends. I hope you found this instructive. If you did, please tell a friend. If you'd like to contact me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. And I hope you find whole health using your Norwalk juicer. And if you don't have a Norwalk juicer, go to a juice bar. Start drinking cold pressed juice. See you on the next video.